everybody. Joe Lewis here with Battle Rankings Live. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. Well, 8:04. And here we are.
In a new year.
In a new year. Happy New Year, everybody. I am here joined by my lovely and talented producer, Ann. Say hi, Ann.
Hi, Ann.
And we got another exciting show. So this one, I kind of cleared the deck and be honest, I was kind of feeling a little lazy, and the opportunity was there for us. And so we're going to have a little interview with Mike Rafferty.
Rafferty.
Rafferty. Right. Which, by the way, hey, why the music today?
Because it's Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty.
Jerry Rafferty. See, always a connection there.
Always a connection somewhere. It's a good old Irish name.
I think he was. Gary was from.
Jerry.
Jerry. Sorry, yeah, Jerry. Because it's a Jerry with a G. I think he was Welsh.
Welsh, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he was Welsh. Either way. He passed away in 2011 of liver disease because he liked to drink.
Surprise!
Surprise! Let's kind of.
And by the way, this version is done by the sax soloist played by a chick.
Yeah, Candy
Dolfer, yeah.
Candy Dolfer.
She's pretty good on this.
She's really.
And this is not Jerry Rafferty singing it, by the way.
Yeah. Let's go through a couple things, the housekeeping. First of all, if you are new to the channel, we are on Facebook and YouTube, and you can find all the archives on YouTube. We have over 80 episodes, I need to go count them, that all deal with Flames of War and Team Yankee. Yes, how can we talk about that much stuff? Oh, it's because we throw other stuff, other garbage in the middle of it, too. So
we get on tangents.
Yeah. So if you want to see
pop culture and history
and stuff,
composers
but it all ties into whatever the subject is. But we have on our YouTube channel, I organized it by sections so you can see rules, books, army lists, interviews. Like this will be listed under the interview when we get done with it. But it's all there. Which, by the way, each episode's around 2 hours. That's about the average. So
the short ones go an hour.
The short ones go an hour, but you're looking at 180 hours worth of stuff. So, but anyway, so it's all there. Battle rankings. You can find it on YouTube, and Facebook's okay, but it's really hard to find stuff. So let's go on with one of the first things we do here. Is we actually talk about upcoming Flames of War and Team Yankee tournaments. And so there's a lot here we've been adding. So just like this weekend, we're looking at Indianapolis, Centerville, Maryland, Minneapolis on this Saturday.
Where it's nice and cold.
It's all cold. And then in PA at Fabrication Forge, they're doing a late war tournament on Sunday. Then we got Siege of Augusta on the 15th. And then just added Gameology in Pasadena, California. They're doing a late war 110, which is probably the reason everyone else is doing a late war 110, because Las Vegas Open's coming up.
Everybody's practicing.
There you go. We got practice your list. And then on the 22nd, Game Time Adventures in New York, Ohio, they're doing a Team Yankee 110. And then this one was just added. Dreamers, they're doing Minneapolis. They're doing a mid-war 150? Doesn't sound right.
Is that a typo?
Could be a 105. No, I know someone's doing a 150. That's in Florida. I was just putting this stuff together. And then on the 28th, Las Vegas Open. So there's a Team Yankee. It's kind of a warm up, and then Las Vegas, 2 days, 5 rounds, 110 points. Then we go to February 19th, Melee at Shiloh, which it's in Arkansas, late war 110. Then this one, I don't know where I got this one from, so if someone can help me out there, it's supposed to be Great Lakes, HMGS Great Lakes in Cambridge, Ohio. They're supposed to be doing a Team Yankee 94 points. Can someone confirm that? Because I've been having a hard time following it. Actually, someone was mentioning. I haven't had time to. I got that and a couple more tournament results to put up. Let's see here. Then CincyCon is March 4th and 5th. Then, this is added here, and I corrected. March 12th and 13th is Hard Knocks Games Wolf Creek. I know when I signed up, there was already 14 people signed up. And that was 2 weeks ago. So that one's going to be big.
I always get good shirts.
Yes, yeah, because your entry fee buys a shirt, and unfortunately they're not big enough for me to wear, so I give them to Anne and she wears them as night shirts. Nothing like, good old World War II night shirts. That's 100 points. So it's a bulge theme. It will be red versus blue, and now that leads us to March 25th, 26th, and 27th, Adepticon in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Yay!
Yeah, and then, by the way, this one's added April 9th, Cardboard Corner Cafe. They are doing in Landover Park, Kansas, Mid-War 110, 3 rounds. So that's pretty cool. But let's go and let's talk about Adepticon. Let's bring in our guest. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Joe, happy to be here. How are you doing tonight, man?
Oh, excellent! I'm glad you could come on and talk to us. Well, first of all, let's get a little bit of background about yourself, Mike.
Sure. Been a gamer for many years now. I've run the gambit from I started in card games, had my stint in 40K for a while. Kind of moved on to more historical stuff. Still have the 40K things, but mostly doing historical things now. I was thinking about, I remember back when the Adepticon was still at the Weston in Lombard. My first Flames of War tournament there, I played you first round.
Oh, really?
I had a British Crusader list. It was a 900 point 3rd edition mid-war tournament. It didn't go great for me, but
I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was like,
sorry.
Oh no, baby seal.
Wow. So we played. I was thinking I played so many games.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm like, sometimes some people, they're like, oh, hey, we're gonna play, and all of a sudden they maybe not, maybe the game didn't go as well as they wanted to. And then later on, a couple years, they go, do you remember me? And all of a sudden, I'm like going through the little catalog card in my mind. I'm like, did I make this guy mad?
Well, it's the Flames of War tournament circle isn't that large. So it's like you're going to run into similar people. And I'm just over in Ohio. You're in Indianapolis. We go to a lot of the same events.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of happy. It's like, oh, cool, you're running this now. It's like I've at least lost you a few times, so I kind of know you. And it's like, oh, this will be a lot more fun. But yeah, I've been with Adepticon for about a decade now. I've been GM there, and this year I took over running historicals since we have the new move with the Hyatt as well. We want to put a lot of focus behind it, really give it some attention, and see what we can do about making historicals successful at Adepticon.
Well, this is probably someone but Dustin there wants to know how you got involved in Adepticon.
I'm not sure who that person is. So, I'll have to. Definitely didn't start with him and Greg Sparks's kitchen room table back in like 2008, 2009. Now, I've known Dustin for a very long time now. He's a good friend. And yeah, him, myself, and Greg Sparks, who also is with Adepticon. Yeah, we started out, we all lived in the same area. So we actually started out working at Greg's house. We would gather around the kitchen table. We called ourselves a brain trust and would, work up some ideas for Adepticon. And, we've done a lot there. And we've all kind of expanded. He runs the vendor hall now. Greg kind of oversees a lot of the operations, and I'm running historicals.
Okay. So let's talk about historicals. So, I know Flames of War has been there for a while.
Yeah.
And then you probably said, Bolt Action, been there for some time. And then after that, it kind of drops off for me as far as names of stuff that's going on there. So one of the things I saw, I was doing some research and just looking at before this, before we had this conversation, what was going on at Adepticon, because my view of Adepticon was always it's a tournament con. It's a tournament con. So if you want to play the best of the best, this is where you come. And I know for the GW stuff, the Gamers Workshop stuff, there's people that fly in all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we used to have some guys from Sweden. It's been a couple years since Dave came in, but we a bunch of us used to go over there for the Games Workshop European Team Championship. And I think some of the guys go over there for Flames as well, like Tony Davis. I know he's went over there at least once. But then some of the Swedish guys used to come over here and play, and they are incredibly fun to hang out with if you ever get the chance. But
right. But being a tournament, or also the other thing I know is that is it 18-year-old or 21 or older?
What do you mean?
To attend?
No, anyone can attend. We even have some events specific for young bloods. That's mostly with Warhammer 40K, where I want to say it's 16 and under. They basically have their own tournament. Beyond that, we don't have any age restriction for Adepticon.
All right. Okay. I thought at one point there was.
There might have been several years ago, but not in recent years.
Okay. Oh, that's good, because we do have a lot of father-son, that play. That's good to know. But are you trying to get out of the tournament only, or kind of go for one-offs or that kind of stuff?
I look at it as there's room for both there. It's, we have the tournaments, and there's people like yourself and others that's what they want to come to Adepticon for. And I definitely don't want to discourage that. But I think there's room now more for one-off event games, participation games. Just you want to come and try something new out. There's room for both. And personally, that's something I've liked running the last several years, is some one-off event games.
Okay. Yeah, because I was starting to look at the event list that was being published, and I saw. Yeah, I was seeing the one game, or if you want to learn something or like that, which I thought was pretty cool. But now the last two Adepticons got canceled because of COVID, right?
Correct. Yeah, sadly, 2020 everything was hitting 2 weeks before the con started.
Mm-hmm.
So that one definitely got canceled at the last moment. And last year, obviously, everything was still sort of in flux, March. So this will be the first one since 2019.
Okay. So in 2019, this format you're doing now, was that starting back then?
We had some thoughts about that. Space has always been a premium with the convention, and it's one of those, it's a victim of its own success. It's when you have 40K tournament is pretty gigantic. Especially Fantasy Flight, looking at them, we've added Legion, Armada's growing, X-Wing's growing. You have Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's just every year new game systems come out and people want to play them. We want to have new events. Well, that takes up table space. And the option basically comes, do we want to move to a bigger event or do we want to try a second venue? And realistically, the second venue opens a lot of options for keeping. We like the Schaumburg area. It's very convenient. We have a great relationship with the Marriott. And the Hyatt people so far have been absolutely fantastic. And I toured it myself back in October, and I am a huge fan of this place. And it's going to give us a lot of room to grow while still keeping that nice small convention feel that I think Adepticon still maintains versus a larger convention like Gen Con.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. Gen Con or Anne's been at many a Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is I haven't been, but I heard that's nightmarish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that one's spread all over the place, and it's not one location's big enough, and then all the different locations.
You have to actually walk outside in a lot of cases, but they do have tunnel, over the street tunnel type things where you can get to other hotels.
Habit trails.
Yeah, but there are a couple of hotels that are just not connected, and the dealers' rooms are in a whole separate building unto itself, and you have to walk outside to get to it.
No,
That's
that must suck for dealers.
Yeah, it does suck for dealers.
Yeah, because the idea of dealers, you want the flow traffic.
Well, I mean, they get a lot of traffic in there. It's not like nobody goes over there. Everybody goes over there, but it's just really in its own building, and it's not connected to the hotels.
Anyway, so Dragon Con, nightmare. Gen Con, interesting.
Gen Con's interesting, and it works though because they got the whole convention center plus the hotels, and they're all connected.
They basically have all of downtown Indianapolis at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Not this year, but the past couple years when it was full attendance, they actually put us on the field, the football field, which was.
He's got a Yeti, Joe.
Oh, for drinking. Yeah,
I wanted to work, so
Yeah. The neat thing about being on the football field was
You're at Lucas Oil Stadium.
we were at Lucas Oil Stadium, which is next to the convention center. So it is connected by tunnel. And when you get out there on the field, they put these platforms over the actual artificial turf, but you're on the turf, which is on that rubber substance or something like that. And the thing is, it's bouncy, which is oh my God, my knees, thank you. It's because when you in a playing a game, you want to stand up, you got your adrenaline going, right. You're moving over the place, and your mileage may vary on you, and it's oh my knees. And one of the neat things is when you're playing, because the lights of the field are on, there's no shadow anywhere on the table.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense because they have borderline all-around lighting. So
yeah, it's the lighting's phenomenal. But
the house that Peyton built.
Yeah, the house that Peyton built. Omaha. Anyway,
statue of him and his cheesesteak out front.
Yeah. Well, the little story for Adepticon. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, someone's asked, where did the name Adepticon come from?
So, obviously in 40K they have a lot of things that are Adeptus, organizations, and the original founding group was called Adeptus Windy City. So it was Adeptus Windy City Con got shortened into Adepticon.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, so that's where that comes from. Mm-hmm. It's good to know. It could be a trivia question at some point.
We do have trivia events there, and maybe I'll put that as a kind of a ringer for a final question.
Sure. When a couple times when the Flames of War guys were there, we were doing tournaments in the older space. One time we were put on the I think we were on the south side of the building, and it was in a big room with giant glass. And it, even though it was in March, that the glass was acting like a magnifying glass, and it was just hot as heck. I just remember that.
Yeah, it was the at the Westin, right, in Lombard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the junior ballroom in the back. I mean, it was a beautiful view when it was nice out, but yeah, that room got pretty warm. I did a lot of the fancy events in there because I was right around my time period of transitioning out of Games Workshop into Flames.
Well, and then we went into I think the next year we were in another room, which was like smaller, and I think we had like 60 people playing or something like that, and we were all bumping butts.
That was the it was like the kind of like almost like a ballroom. I think that was Harry Carey Ballroom that year, where it was all like kind of nice and dark, a mood light. I liked that. I was gonna get a smoking jacket and hang out. It looked all classy, but.
Yeah, well, we're unfortunately on top of each other, and then lately we were at the new location put in the back corner.
Dustin said that was the Harry Carey Ballroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We were put in like the back corner, which was fine, and we were spread out. Good lighting. Unfortunately, it was. It's the concrete floor, which you can't do anything about, is because it's just a con space, and that worked out well.
So nice thing about this one, while we haven't finalized all the table layouts yet, we have some rough ideas. We're going to be back in a more traditional ballroom setting, so nice carpeted floors. The lighting is pretty good, and we should have enough room that we're not, super close to each other.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I mean, we're friendly, but not that friendly.
You have the option of being friendly instead of being forced to.
Yeah.
I did want to answer a couple questions I see from the chat here.
Sure.
Patrick mentioned there's going to be vendors at both locations or just one. So the vendor hall is still going to stay at the Marriott. So that's going to be there just as it always has been, right in the middle between the Fantasy Flight room and the 40K room. However, we are going to have a couple vendors. We're in talks with 3 of them right now to have some at the Hyatt. And that's something I'd like to grow. Once we can do a proof of concept of this can work, is can we have more vendors there in the future? But I definitely wanted to at least have a couple there year one.
Now, where do you think the Flames of War stuff is going to be? Which room, hotel?
All the Flames of War stuff's going to be at the Hyatt.
Will be at the Hyatt. Okay.
Basically, if it's considered to be under a historical banner or Frostgrave, we're going to be at the Hyatt.
All right. What now? When one thinks of Adepticon, one thinks of the 40K and all the fantasy stuff. Why the push for the on the historical side?
Historical is near and dear to my heart. So obviously, we've had, people at Adepticon, big 40K players, big fantasy players. A lot of them were old school historical players, but we haven't had a lot of the push. And to be honest, it's something I've been resisting for a few years. No one wants the responsibility at the end of the day. And finally, we were kind of talking about this and we realized this might happen. I was like, well, if it's going to happen, I would rather try to have someone to shepherd it and make something interesting of it, see if we can grow and expand instead of, hey, it's over here, no one's really in charge of it, what happens? So instead, we're putting forth a ton of effort behind it. We're over at the Hyatt, but how can we make that to our benefit instead of it being a detriment?
Well, is it by sheer force of Mike that's pushing for historicals, or is there something else going on?
It's a lot of Mike, but no, we have the full backing of the Adepticon team. Hank is behind this, Dustin, Greg, Matt, everyone at Adepticon is behind this and wanting it to be successful. So am I taking kind of a face of it? Sure, but I'm taking it on myself to provide that point of contact and be a driving force for this with their backing.
Hey, can I ask a question?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay,
There is a historicals tournament con. Is it Advance the Colors? Am I thinking of Advance the Colors?
Well, Advance of Colors is in Springfield, Ohio.
Yes. Yes. The reason why I'm asking about it because there is the historical miniatures gaming groups.
HMGS.
HMGS. I was curious if they're hooked into this to know that you guys are pushing it.
Well, it's funny that you were mentioning that because I was going to bring up that group.
Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm way ahead of my husband. How the heck?
Well, the thing is, I was waiting to pounce on this question. No.
Oh, spoilers for down the interview. The hardball questions.
Well, here's the thing about HMGS. Okay, a couple of the Great Lakes members that were on the board were on the board, so that leaves a lot of people. So I'm not going to name any names. I ran into a couple of them at Gen Con, and we had dinner one night, and so we were comparing notes and stuff like that, and the membership of HMGS are getting long in the tooth. And they just don't seem to have a reach out to get younger players. I'm not seeing it, and I don't see it when I go to an HMGS event. I'm just not seeing it. I think it's interesting that you guys, or yourself, the tour de force, that's Mike. That's
Young man that he is.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to get a T-shirt that says "Force of Mike." So
yeah. Or you could do some variation of the Force of Nature card for what's that?
Magic Gathering.
Magic the Gathering. Yes. That you're going for. Well, first of all, where are the younger players? And my experience is that they end up playing Game Workshop stuff first. That's where they seem to go there first. So and then we've noticed that as they get a little bit older, all of a sudden they start playing Flames of War. They're like, okay, orcs and chaos, that's fine, but I'll come over here and push, tigers and Shermans and that kind of stuff. But the thing is I just don't see the HMGS going for younger people.
and I could see that as well, and I would say there's a bunch of factors with that. The one thing about historical gamers, and obviously broad strokes here I'm kind of painting with, we're somewhat set in our ways. We have things that we like, and we have reasons we like them. Now, from my personal opinion, I do think there is an accessibility issue with a lot of historical games. I see you smiling there, but like Flames is very accessible. They have great starter boxes. They have the rule books. It's very clear. I mean, I remember first edition when I was looking at Flames, I was like, wait, how do I build an army? What is this? At least I know what a Panzer is. Now I can go grab a box and they have diagrams. Everything's very accessible. Same with bolt action.
Yeah.
Very accessible, easy to get in game. If I want, I got some Warlord ACW stuff back here at Civil War. It's not that accessible of okay, when I have troops, how do I play a game? And it's very nebulous. Now, obviously, for a more experienced gamer, that's a good thing because it gives you a lot of options to grow and customize. But for someone new, it's very challenging. And I have a minor marketing background. I've done sales for the past 11 years. So something I think about is how do I get someone into something? And, Battlefront has it right. Warlord has it right. I think Firelock is doing an excellent job of that. And I almost look at those as the gateway vehicles to historical gaming. And that's, something I'm kind of looking at is I think to get people in is obviously we have very impressive one-off games, but then it's also, okay, well, if I'm interested, what's my first step?
Yeah. So, Mike, let me get for those who don't know. By the way, I also upgraded the studio.
Yeah.
So I could do this now.
2 cameras.
Yes. What Mike's referring to is if you buy a box, the one of the starter kits, you get this whole thing about how to assemble your tank. Then it has how to read the cards on top, and then how to put your troops together over there. And then on this side, it talks about your new army and what's next. And it kind of gives you how you begin to play. And it's all, anyone who's introducing the game gets this. And all their starter kits have this. Yes, 2 cameras.
And I'm not on any of them.
Yeah. The idea of just Mike for that for my loyal for the battle rankings army out there. What I've done is when I interviewed Peter, the owner of Battlefront, just before Christmas, and it was a week before Christmas.
Yes.
And we were talking about it, and they have a camera shot, and we're talking about it. And then I had my Christmas special, which, by the way, I highly recommend everyone to watch my Christmas special.
I actually watched it this afternoon.
Yeah. It's different. We don't take our. It's the only way we could do 40 episodes a year, right? Otherwise, you just get burned out talking about statistics. So I love doing things like this because it's about the game, but it's not really about the game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But so over the the holiday break, Christmas and stuff, I found myself did some research. I'm really not happy with this camera, and so I want to replace that one. This one is my old friend that I've been I take around to cons and do interviews with, so I have that one. I want to get that because what I want to do is I've been doing PowerPoint presentations trying to talk about the game.
Sure.
Now what I want to do is set up my table, bring the camera over, and have it on the table, and then so I could walk over to it, switch to it, and discuss whatever rules or whatever we're talking about.
Yeah, that'd be really good. You could set up the scenario on the tabletop, have the top-down camera so you can see what's going on. It'd be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this could do 4 cameras. This switch, does 4 cameras, and I want one on the table, one that could look at me while at the table, and one on the dice tray.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, especially if you want to ever start live streaming games or anything.
Oh, now, there's 2 hours of excitement,
right?
Yeah.
Hey, they're trying to make 40K, in esports, so maybe we can get
They
flames
are?
there. There's a push.
Oh,
But I did have a question about Adepticon. I mean, they talk about doing one-off games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe your club could do some demo games of Flames of War at the con?
no, because we're too busy at the tournament.
There's nobody that would run a demo game for you guys?
The thing is, Battlefront, this is where I would punt and say Battlefront's there. They have a booth.
Oh, they should do the... Yeah.
Let them do the demo games. There's the ones selling it,
Well, and I look at, they usually have a small table set up there where they're doing some demos. And then, like myself, I'm running a couple smaller Flames of War games. So, like, that would be a nice, hey, if you've never played before, you can come in, move some models around, figure the rules out. And we're doing a Market Garden game around Nijmegen, and we're doing a Bulge game around Stillmont.
Awesome.
And then we have the world's largest Team Yankee game on Saturday.
Oh, really? Where's that at Adepticon?
Yeah, that's going to be at the Hyatt. I have been
Okay.
working on it for 2 years now and growing steadily more insane as I do it. But
You're doing a mega battle?
a mega battle.
Oh,
We're going to have about two TO&E textbook tank regiments for the Warsaw Pact. That's 86 vehicles just in tanks.
I almost want to take a camera and just sort of walk around what he's doing.
I would appreciate that, but we're probably going to have 500 to 600 vehicles total between NATO and Warsaw Pact. it initially started out as kind of a joke of, hey, we could do Market Garden in 1985, and that'd be kind of fun. And it's just steadily snowballed, and then I got stuck in my house for several months, and now I have a 8x4 table full of vehicles, plus several friends that are contributing vehicles, and yeah, it's going to be kind of a crazy game.
Yeah, it's like, it's going to be big, really big. Just ask anyone; they know it's be big,
Huge.
huge, everyone. Everyone knows. Just ask them. So yeah.
Very quick aside on that. Back in 2019, Spectre Miniatures is there, and they make really good 20mm models. And I believe they're going to be back this year. But they had a 4-pack where you got a Kim Jong-un, Theresa May, Putin, and Trump miniature. And I had to pick that up because that was hilarious.
And what's the scale?
28mm.
28. Oh, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And are they going to be selling this at the con?
They had it there the last time. So I hope I think it's still on their website, so I would assume it'll still be there.
Yeah. There's only one to get. Forget the others. Just one.
Hey, Putin occasionally leaves my FSB strike teams, so.
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Matter of fact, things like Adepticon. Okay, if you've never been there and you're watching this, and you've never been there. There's a couple things I could say that's a really absolutely amazing, and so why you kind of strike me remembering it. It's the Crystal Brush Awards, painting entries for the Crystal Brush. Just phenomenal. It's almost like I do a decent job painting, but it's like, why do I even bother? It's just artwork.
I know it's one of those, like, I put my 3 colors on a model here and I feel kind of good, and they have, oh look, it's 6 layers of green.
Yes,
one small area.
Right. Well, a couple of years ago, there was a I want to say it was in the 54 scale.
Okay.
Of a Marine, a captain, ultramarine captain with a cape. And the cape had detail in it, as in, like, the border, and then it had the writing in the cape.
Oh my gosh!
And there was pictures, and I think there was, I think it was a wolf in it too. That was just in the cape.
One point,
what's the model?
I crafted a small flag for all my Flames of War tanks, and I felt really happy with myself about that. And he's got pictures within pictures on the cape that he probably sculpted from scratch.
Yeah. If you want to see these things after the show, Google Crystal Brush Awards, and there are pictures of the finalists, the top 3, and you'll see them through all the different years, so you can go ahead and see them.
And they take phenomenal pictures. And actually, good news with that, while Crystal Brush is no longer a thing, we are going to actually have an historical miniatures painting contest at the Hyatt. Okay. And then Games Workshop is still going to have they're going to have a Golden Demon. It'll be the first one back in North America. That'll be at the Conyo for Games Workshop stuff. Privateer Press is having a painting competition. Creature Forge is for their products. But I thought it was kind of fun that we're going to have our own painting competition as well.
So there's going to be a painting competition for World War II miniatures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's check that out, guys.
I have a squad of British Rangers from the French and Indian War and American Revolutions I'm entering. I mean, I'm going to lose, but it'll be fun.
Well, half the battles entering, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, someone posted on my comment, that you're going to be here, and then the next thing is knowing is half the battle, which is a G.I. Joe reference. The other half is actually participating. So that's just answering that question. But
If I was 25% blue lasers, 25% red lasers.
there's that too. Yeah. Or every man for himself. Or however the He-Man / Cobra Commander. Which, by the way, is just absolutely just think it's a hilarious voice. So what happened to the Crystal Brush? They're defunct. They're not doing it. The people are running it, not running it anymore.
It was run by Cool Mini, and I don't believe they're running it anymore.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with the story behind it. I just know it's not happening.
All right. But you guys are having something in its place.
Yeah, we're trying to pick up, the missing part there.
All right. No, that's good. Because the thing is, and especially in Flames of War, what they do is they work on it. Hello. Oh, hold on. Let me.
We got some cat difficulties.
Yeah, my cat. Yeah, this is Sherman.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because he's soft. So yeah, we have what we call the three things about the hobby. One is obviously playing,
sure.
But the second is painting. Painting miniatures. Well, we know there's some people who are not tacticians but are awesome painters, and that's why we always give an award for best painted.
Absolutely.
Which is and then the third is sportsmanship.
Get your tail in this thing.
Yeah. So sportsmanship, painting, and then obviously the generalship are the three things that we look for. The guy that could get his butt kicked off the games and have a really good time, and Oh, by the way, story. That when we played in that really hot room,
yeah,
at Adepticon, at the Nationals, a buddy of mine, Mike Mansfield, had some leg surgery. So he couldn't get up and move around the board, so he got a friend of his to help him out.
Okay.
She dressed as a St. Pauli's girl because he was playing Romanians. He won best sport that year.
Hey, whatever works, right?
But yeah, it's fun that way. So
the cat's over here claiming all Joe's box sets for Spain here.
What is he doing?
I don't know. He's rubbing his face on them.
On the Flames of War rule book.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I claim this. This is mine now. Yeah. You've seen what was it the?
Oh, now he's gonna push it off, Joe. He's gonna push him off.
What was that British television show where they were flying around and the cat matured and then became humanoid? Red Dwarf. He's going around. This is mine.
This is mine. This is mine.
He's like spray painting the stuff. Anyway, but
now he's destroying things.
We're so you see this this whole thing with the doing the historicals. Where do you see this maturing in the next couple of years? Where do you want to take it?
My end goal is to functionally have a full-on historical convention within the Adepticon umbrella. I want to see increased attendance, more event games. I definitely want our Battlefront events to sell out. But basically, how can we make this more like Historicon, just in Chicago?
Okay. Well, first of all,
Hugh actually asked a question.
Okay, hold on. We'll go
I
there.
saw that one. I was going to try to hit on that at some point.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to hit the thing about Historicon. Mike, have you ever been to a Historicon?
I have been to 2 of them now and 1 Fallen.
What location?
I went to the new one in Lancaster at the Marriott that was downtown. I have never been to the dreaded Lancaster host that I hear stories about.
Oh, I was like, am I going to get bed bugs? That's the first time I ever asked myself that, honestly, in a question.
I
you know.
lived out in Pennsylvania for a year and a half, and I happen to be very close to Lancaster and Valley Forge. They pronounce it as Lancaster, not Lancaster, like you should. But so I luckily could commute. So, and then I went to Fallen and the last historic con that was at the Valley Forge Casino, where we have opinions.
Yeah.
I mean, not on the HMGS people. They did great. I can't fault them because the venue is like that, and trying to find a venue is such a challenging job anymore. And the Valley Forge people seem really nice. It's a clean venue and everything, just laid out weird, which I guess would probably make sense for a casino venue.
Well, I guess this is showing the love. We were the tournaments actually were in the motor pool, and you know how they were doing construction. So when they were pulling the rugs up and stuff like that, they actually took the padding from was in the old rooms, put it down in the motor pool, okay? Because they actually had regular garage doors there, and they put that stuff down, taped it down, and I was like, why are they using foam padding from the rooms down here? And of course, they just got tore up. And the thing is, I'm like, I just don't want to fall because of the bed bug issue. And by the way, I'm just teasing about the bed bugs. I cannot confirm that they were bed bugs. But the thing is, it was like, but I guess that's part of the charm of the Lancaster, venue. But when they moved it downtown, that is a beautiful venue.
Yeah, that was the first one I went to, and I was like, "Oh, this place is great. What do people complain about?" Oh, because it's a different venue.
Well, so it. By the way, I saw there was some role playing. Are they planning to get role playing going at Adepticon too?
We've always had a few things going on. I don't think it's going to expand to, like a Gen Con where you have all the different D&D games going on. But some of our attendees like to run games, so we want to allow it.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a Klingon murder mystery, I believe, in Star Trek Adventures, which sounds fantastic, and I'd love to play in if I, obviously didn't have a ton of other things going on. That's my new favorite role-playing game. So.
Yes. Oh, you know what? You have to read. You have to see the original Murder She Wrote in the original Klingon. It's the best.
It really is.
Okay. Anyway, oh god, my YouTube feed sent me up that Undiscovered Country. And I'm like, I have to watch that dinner scene and see that whole thing about it being in an original Klingon.
Oh yeah, it's one of those happy things when your YouTube feed pops scenes from Rafferty or Undiscovered Country. It's like, yeah, today's gonna be a good day.
Yeah. So you just back to Adepticon.
Sure.
The idea is you want to see a upward trajectory of historicals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that there's actually HMGS Con like the week after.
It's the next month. I want to say it's about 3 weeks after. It's called Little Wars. It's actually at the Westin Lombard where we used to be. Yeah, Kevin Cabri and the HMGS Midwest people run that, and it's a good show. I went out there a few years ago, had a good time. And I've been working with them to try to grow their presence at Depthicon as well. And that's kind of been a lot of my goal this year is, in essence, as a brand ambassador. I'm building relationships with HMGS Great Lakes, Midwest, and National, which, of course, there's 3 different HMGS groups in this area. So, and then also trying to find all the independent clubs. We have a lot of small tents out there, some larger, some smaller, and trying to get them all in-house it's going to be a multi-year project.
So you're trying to, I guess you're trying to cast a big tent,
exactly.
Bring people in.
And that's what I look at is Adepticon's a big tent. We can fit everyone If you want to come play one-off games, small games, big games, tournaments, there's a place for you here.
Mm.
And that's something I've been trying to open myself up to is I have my ideas for what I want the con to be, but if I don't hear from my attendees and the audience, I've been inviting feedback because if I don't hear from you guys, I don't know what to give you.
All right. Yeah. You don't know what to improve upon.
Exactly. So,
Right.
I made a historicals at adepticon.org email address, and I've invited, hey, if you have comments, suggestions, ideas, shoot them my way so we can talk about them. We're also going to have a kind of a mixer event on Friday evening at the convention. They have a really nice atrium, and I like a nice cigar every once in a while. So the hotel is pretty cool with us having cigars out there. So it's going to be a hangout event. I'll be there. My second at Historicals will be there, and it's just going to be calm. Let's hang out, have a drink, relax, and get to know everybody, get to know each other, and try to grow the community and get some feedback for where we want to see the con to grow.
So, when is this event again?
That'll be Friday evening at the con, probably around 8 p.m. I haven't exactly decided on a time. I got to double check on schedules, but I'll have an announcement on the Facebook page beforehand.
Okay, and if you could send me a message, and I'll
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
It's not going to be a ticketed event. It's going to be very informal. It's pretty much just going to be, hey, I'm hanging out having a cigar. Come hang out with us.
All right, good. No, that's good. Let's see if we get some of the Flames of War guys there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To address one question real quick, I see Nathan brought up about the Flames of War changing its days, and really that was Battlefront's decision. I was talking to John Matthews back in November, and those were the days he picked.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about this one right here?
Yeah.
Not sure why there was never a Sunday game. I don't think I ever remember a Sunday game. And the thing is that it allows you to go home. you know.
I mean, I will say for the past several years, I've been staying Sunday night and going home Monday. It does give some good options. And I remember there was a team tournament once on a Sunday, but I feel I'm with you. Most people, it's like a Thursday through Saturday thing. You could drive home Sunday, be ready for work on Monday. Though, plug my own game here. I'm running a Warplan Orange game using Victory at Sea rules. If you want to fight some, battleship on battleship action, that'll be going on Sunday.
All right. Actually, that sounds like fun.
Hmm?
I was looking for some naval. And
my head is blocking all my GHQ packages over there. So.
Up back.
Back up, like right there.
Okay.
And a tray of ships,
yeah.
and then another tray of ships in a different room. So I've went in pretty hard on naval stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever done Fletcher Pratt?
I haven't. I heard of him. He pops up in the store and naval warfare discussions, but I've been pretty much doing the old Mongoose Victory at Sea, now the Warlord Victory at Sea, and then Naval Thunder for a while.
Okay. Yeah, Fletcher Pratt is, well, first of all, there's not like really no dice. You just you do a range find. You figure out how. By the way, you need to play on the floor. Big space, and you say, okay, I got 6 guns. I'm gonna go 80 inches out and walk it back 1 inch.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And then what you do is you have a GM who then will you write all this stuff down. So when they put it all down, they use golf tees upside down as like water splashes. And then usually about the third, you're like, 72 and a half, all 6 guns. Boom, right there, right?
Okay. Speaking of guessing ranges, one year I was playing in the fantasy team tournament with Dustin, and we had it was dwarfs and chaos, I think. And the only unit we were worried about was this unit of dark elves that could infiltrate. And no, I think it was chaos. And we had a hell cannon, And he's like, 76 and 3/4 inches. It was literally right on the middle guy's head when we measured it out. They were not happy with us.
Chris Fretz brings up something about Sundays. Yeah, Doug Rawson had his doubles tournament on Sundays.
Yeah, I remember playing it 1 year.
Unfortunately, Doug Rawson passed away a few years ago. He's still young. He was in his late 50s, but still a young man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he used to run that. Actually, before we let it go too far, I think we had this question here.
Yeah, I was planning to hit back to that at some point.
Sure.
Yeah, we can go with that. So, like I said, 23rd to 27th, I'll pull up the events listing here on my screen so I can hit down. It's just kind of going down the list. The 23rd is a lot of registration.
By the way, you could share your screen.
Nope. I don't know if I want to do that.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Well, we're not judging,
Okay. So, but obviously we got a lot of one-off events. Saga is pretty big at the convention as well. We have their Grand Melee that starts on the 24th with the Age of Magic one and goes on from there. The Team Yankee US Nationals will be on the 24th as well. We actually have one hobby seminar over at the Hyatt as well. It's going to be a resin 3D printing seminar. Something kind of exciting to me. We actually have Aerodrome there this year, and that's a game I haven't played in ages. Have you ever tried Aerodrome, Joe?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. We used to do that the first Tuesday of every month at our game store for many years, and then it just kind of stopped.
World War One, by the way.
Yeah. They have a World War II one now, but I never got a chance to play it.
Yeah, actually, I find the World War One aerial in a large group tends to play better with the biplanes and stuff.
It does.
They don't go as far.
It's not as crazy. It's a lot slower, more deliberate.
You still get the fur ball thing going.
Yeah.
Whereas some P-51s racing on through. They're
dive, shoot, leave. Yeah.
Yeah, they go through the board real quick.
We can't talk air games if we're not getting our arms involved. Making movements.
Yeah.
Zippy little plane.
Bold Action's having a bunch of events. They're going to have a combat patrol on Thursday.
Now, are they're doing a tournament?
Yeah, combat patrol tournament, doubles tournament on the 25th, and then their traditional tournament on the 26th.
Okay, good for them.
Yeah, Saga will have an Age of Magic event, a team event, and then their single person Grand Melee. I'm totally drawing a blank on this name. Blood and Plunder. They're going to be running 3 events. They're 3 systems: Blood and Plunder, Oak and Iron, and I don't remember what their one is. I'm a horrible coordinator here.
Well, I was looking.
They're having their 3 events.
Well, you got a ton of game systems that are they're playing.
And that's what I'm happy about. Is I like the fact that Historicals has a good variety of systems. The nice thing is also, like, at least from my perspective, they're all relatively mainstream ones too. So it's someone, if you're interested, like you like Chain of Command, Bold Action, something, you can probably go over to the vendor hall, pick up the rule set, and start playing that weekend instead of having to find, track down some obscure rule set. Because like we were talking about barriers to entry earlier on, sometimes the rule set alone is a barrier to entry.
Oh, like a Advanced Squad Leader.
Yeah, or Blood and Valor. Thank you. I just drew a blank on that. My story is the Historicon 2019. I played Art de la Guerre, and my buddy, he really liked it. So we're like, okay, let's go pick it up. And I asked the guy, I was like, hey, man, I like this game. Where can I pick it up? And he's like, well, okay, it's a French game. You got to go to this website and do this. And I just tuned out and walked away.
What, like you tuned out as soon as they said, well, it's French.
Oh, pretty much. But Now I'm kind of hooked on this Impetus game. We have a couple of those running. It's actually a really smoothly playing large block unit ancients to like pike and shot era. Really interesting game. They use 15 millimeter models, so you can have a pretty large battle in a small area. The game flows well, has a good feel to it. But a game also only takes like an hour and a half. Sometimes you don't want to play a game that's like, okay, here's my 14 charts, and we're going to hunker in for the weekend to try to finish an hour or two a battle.
Oh, yeah. Well,
not everyone wants to play Empire.
Okay. Well, you're talking about the Napoleonics?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's where you would do a turn and a half in a night. Okay. So, did you say you're from Chicago? Or
no,
you
I'm
were
from
Chicago?
Toledo.
Okay.
Well, Toledo, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been in Chicago? I mean, other than for the tournament, for the convention?
Not a ton, actually.
All right. So there was this game store called Emperor's Headquarters.
Okay.
And the gentleman that owned it, he came. Well, first of all he bought the property and built the building, and he built it a game store it looked like a French Foreign Legion.
That's cool.
So it had the stucco. I think he had the flags outside, marble staircase, carpeting in the center for when you go up, brass fixtures. The place was done to the nines. All right, and this would be about the early '90s, I want to say, and he had a mail order that he ran out in the basement, and then a full store up front. And of course, the game room was in the back, which you would go through a double set of French doors, would open up. It was gorgeous. I played many miniatures there, and one of them, there was Napoleonics. Because the gentleman owned the place that ran it. His offices were upstairs. That's where he made his real money. The game store was just his hobby.
Yeah, that's fair.
And huge in Napoleonics, and they would play a turn and a half, which would be a lot for the evening, and then they would go across the street, and there was this. It was the local pub with the local in it, and it was called the World Famous Apple Pub. And the World Famous Apple Pub was just a dive bar. It had 2 dartboards, a pool table, and a jukebox. And I remember listening to a lot of the album 10. That was a Seattle band, Jeremy.
Oh, Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam, yes, right. Yeah, that was when Pearl Jam was big. That played a lot. And we would throw darts and stuff. And what they would do is they would talk about how they were going to kick the other one's ass in the next round. That never happened. And it was just all theoreticals. And that's, to me, that. And now, by the way, I was a young man at that time. And I'm like, and I call them the button counters. So on the miniature, they would make sure there was the right buttons, that they had the right number of buttons and the right color.
1809, the buttons changed. You can't use those miniatures for that time period.
He's not too far off.
Oh my gosh, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the button counters.
The Austrians had 2 different types of helmets during Napoleonic period, so.
Oh yeah, I think the pointing one.
That's those, because those ones look cool. So
Yeah, and who wears white on the battlefield, especially after Labor Day?
It was cheaper. That's why they used it. It was the cheapest color.
Because you probably didn't have to dye it.
No,
Yeah.
did not have that. But it sure showed up nice and pretty on the green.
Yeah, And anyway, so yeah, the button counters. By the way, the owner of that, he knew what was going on, so he knew that these guys loved like Bass beer, so he would actually start ordering Bass beer on top of the Miller Lite or whatever swill he was selling, and he would only save it for our group that would come in. So yeah, and he knew, because we were regulars and we knew we had cycles and stuff. We would come in, and he's like, you know what? I have no. He'd say, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I'm sure glad you're here talking about it.
Yeah, it's like you talk about whatever you want. Just keep buying the beer.
Yeah. But so button counters and stuff like that, and Napoleonics.
You know what? If they want to come to Adepticon and play their Empire, we'll blot out a couple tables for the entire weekend, and maybe we can get 3 turns in. We'll see.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. What's the so tickets for Adepticon go on sale
January 11th.
January 11th, which is next week.
Yep.
And I should look this up. Shame on me. What's the cost of a badge for the weekend?
Good. So what we do is each event has a ticket price, which you can see on the event listing, but the main badge is $35.
So $35 for the weekend. That's a hell of a lot cheaper than Gen Con.
Yeah, and that's sort of how we were looking at it. Like Gen Con or StoreCon specifically, I want to say it was $55 for the weekend badge.
Sounds right.
Something like that. But that also got all your events. We look as more of you pick what events you want to play in. You put a couple dollars down. That way you got a little bit of skin in the game and you're more likely to show up for them. But more so is if you don't want to play any events, when you play 1 or 2, you're getting a cheaper badge than if you paid for an all weekend pass. You don't necessarily take advantage of it.
Sure. Makes sense. So, and then so it goes on the 11th. I did look. I think you guys reserved off like 70 some odd spots for the Flames of War tournament, and 60 for the Team Yankee.
That sounds right. And it's one of those, and I always encourage people on this. We have 72 for Mid-War Nationals.
Okay.
Is if it does sell out, sign up for the wait list. Because we do look at those, and that's how once kind of registration sells down a bit, that's how we go through and look, oh, hey, let's say we have 20 people on a wait list. Well, we're going to look at how do we get more tables for that versus maybe another event didn't sell as well. Well, we can take that space and move it over to one that's selling better. So wait lists are looked at. They're very important, and I encourage everyone, if the event that you like sold out, sign up for the wait list.
Okay, there we go, guys. So there, flexibility. Maybe some game didn't sell as much, and you can
Shift their tables
shift the tables around.
Exactly.
I
know my world's largest Team Yankee event, I have 20 people signed up for that, and I could probably go up to 30 if we needed.
Yeah, and tanks to spare. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So for the Flames, no, there is. That's an interesting question. I know there's swag bags and stuff like that, but someone's asking if there a particular historical swag bag.
So not this year. That might be something we'll look into. Coming up with COVID, obviously, there's a lot we're doing to try to make sure everything is good. So this year, it's looking like we're just got like the normal swag bag and potentially a VIG one. I don't have firm details on that right this moment. It is something we're working on and getting all that finalized before the 11th. So that stuff will be announced. So as I always keep saying, pay attention to the Facebook. That's where we make all of our announcements. Maybe in the future, we can look at doing more historical themed swag bag. That's definitely good feedback and something that we'll take under consideration and see what we can do.
No, nothing. I was just going to say that maybe Battlefront will throw them a bone,
Well, sometimes they throw little things in the bag. Well, I know one year they threw a Stug sprue.
Yeah, we had the Stugs when they first came out the plastics. We had the Stug sprue and the Sherman sprue. We had the Crusaders, the Panzers, and the Tigers from the mid-war stuff one year. Last year they gave us the Arab-Israeli war book. That was actually the 2021 that didn't happen, but we sent out people swag bags that signed up for it and paid for it. and that was in there. I remember one year they gave us a whole bunch of the spray cans, and I was just going around handing them out to people at the tournament, like, "Hey, you want some Flames of War spray cans? I have a bunch of them."
One, they were giving away the primer cans.
Yeah, like the original ones.
Oh, the original ones.
I think that was right before they switched over to their own paint brand. So they were clearing out the warehouse, and I was like, "Oh, I'll give these out to people."
You know you can't get Flames of War primer. I just can't get it.
I personally use the Vallejo surface primer through my airbrush now.
Yeah. Actually, that's why I use Ammo by MIG. Anyway,
I will say Ammo by MIG, that is my go-to like base coat. My Dunkelgelb, NATO Green, all that stuff, they are fantastic. I absolutely love them.
Patrick Belosa asks if those are the cans that leaked and exploded.
they might have. There was a couple of them that when you were pressing them down, something happened in the tip and it would come running out. Those are fantastic.
We can neither confirm nor deny any injury.
Let's see, I was gonna have I have another question in there, but yeah, okay, so all right, it just happens that this year, by the way, timing's usually never good with Battlefront, but this year the mid-war book combo, the big book they're putting together.
Yeah, they're omnibus.
Yes, which will have some new stuff in it, and it's all inclusive and stuff like that. That is coming out in February.
Oh, okay, well, that's good timing.
It's great timing. So that because it's mid-war this year, and in Adepticon is at the end of March. The dates being does it begin the 24th?
24th is the first full day. 23rd is the Wednesday. We open up registration at 6 p.m. And there are a few, like the Games Workshop preview is that night. We're going to do Harry Potter trivia that night. So, all your Potter fans. But so kind of minor segue with that is I personally love bar trivia. We have a team that goes just about every week. And we had the idea one year, well, why don't we do some themed trivia events? And we did Star Wars, 40K, and Game of Thrones. And then Star Wars, super popular. 40K, we actually had the Games Workshop guys do the questions for it. So, everyone appreciated that. One guy tried to argue with me about an answer, and I turned around and asked Graham McNeil what the answer was, and he told him that, this was right. And you can't really argue with the guy that wrote the book.
Sure.
So, but we've had trouble finding that third event. We've done Game of Thrones, we've done Lord of the Rings, so we're going to try Harry Potter this year. So, hey, if you like Harry Potter, we got trivia. So there is some stuff that happens on Wednesday, but Thursday, the 24th, is the main, first day of the con.
All right. Yeah. So and it goes through the 28th.
The 27th.
27th.
Yep, that's
okay.
Sunday.
All right, because because the 25th. Oh, it's a Friday. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so the 25th is a Friday. That's Team Yankee, 74 points, 4 rounds, and then the 26th and 27th is 6 rounds, mid-war 105. So you got that going on. That's the Nationals. Obviously, the winner of that goes to gets a free invite to Masters. What's always a big to-do. And so you got that going on. We know the base price just for the badge is $35 plus. I don't know. I have to take a look to see what they want for the tournaments.
Looks like Nationals is $25. Team Yankee Nationals is $25. The mid-war one is $45, which that one's a 2-day event, so I would expect it to be a little bit more.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Patrick here. It says Battlefront handling the collection list for the Team Yankee Flames of War for your Emmy, and I'm like, Emmy? And he's like, oh, a tournament, it's not Emmy. Yeah, this is going to. I don't know. Is there YouTube have an award show? I don't think we're on anyone's radar for that.
We'll get there.
So well, I mean, we're such a niche show. I mean, we only talk about Flames of War and Team Yankee, but no, Battlefront's running the whole thing. I just helped them put the copy together for the tournament, and I consulted about the points. So, by the way, yes, if you guys are mad about the points and how they're all over the place, I come and see me. I'm fine. I got big shoulders. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, because what we did this year was, even though there might be a late war tournament somewhere else, in past years, all late war was one set of points. This year, they're all different points. So that makes that tournament at that location unique. And that's what it's about. And the thing is that because it's unique, hopefully people will bring different armies instead of just doing one army for the year and then bring it around. You have a chance to bring a different army or play a different army.
I don't want to play the same army at every event, and I don't want to play against the same armies at every event. It's nice to have stuff mixed up a bit. Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, in fact, for Wolf Creek, I since it's Bulge, I decided I normally play Germans, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna do Americans because that was the first thing I got started. I did Americans, and so all this mess behind me is pulling out all. Well, actually, that's always there. I pulled out all of my American stuff and started redoing the paint jobs on them. Actually trying to get them to look uniform because over the years, your skill changes. And so I was trying to even them all up so they look like a cohesive unit.
Right. And then it's like you're trying to match your different paint styles. Like, okay, well, this I do now. And yeah. So and then like I have a couple armies painted by different people that I've contracted out. So it's like, well, how do I kind of match this in here? And okay, just giving up on the battle right now. Let's just get everything out so I can try to figure out both what I own and what I can use for different event games.
So are you going to find yourself at Depthicon pretty much running around just trying to, tap out fires if they appear, that kind of stuff?
I mean, knock on wood, there's not going to be any fires. But that's probably what I'm going to do most of the time. I am running 4 different games, but I have some friends helping me out, which will be good with that. But really, yeah, I was actually just talking to one of the higher ups today. We're going to have some green staff shirts. So not only do you know, hey, we're staff, specifically green for the historical staff.
Oh.
I want to be very visible so that if you do have an issue, you do have a concern, or you just want to say hi, you know where to find me.
Okay. Well, at least it's not a red shirt.
Yeah. That's actually tournament judges for 40K.
Oh, okay. No, there you go. Tournament judges for 40K on red shirts. Historical floor managers green.
Exactly.
Yep.
I've been debating about getting a virtual phone number for the weekend, and I'll post it, a virtual. I'm not giving out my real one, but
yeah, sure.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you have a problem, I want you to get a hold of somebody so we can fix it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the Karens could come out. Yeah.
Male Karens? Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Fretz had something here.
Well, we were talking about this weekend is our practice tournament.
Okay.
For us guys going to LVO.
Okay.
And he's saying that it's looking like the Louisiana maneuvers for the weekend. So I guess there's a lot of American players.
Hey, it's a new book, new hotness. I'll blame you.
There's a lot of neat things in there.
Well, you can break out all the fancy Shermans for 4th edition finally.
Well, yeah, I got my Easy 8s, I got my Jumbos, and Jumbos with big guns, Jumbos with little guns.
I haven't played. I painted up an American list out of Blood, Guts, and Glory, the patent list for Adepticon way back when. And I was doing good till I ran into you round 4, but
wait, did you have Patton?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember because I was like,
hunt him down.
Yes, you did. You took the extra turn running down. I don't blame you.
Now you remember.
Oh, I remember like someone having Patton, and it's just like he ran into the middle of the woods, and I was just like, whoa.
Oh, hey, it's an extra point for you. It's a
Right.
lost point
Yeah.
for you. I'll blame you.
Yeah, okay, I remember that one. Yeah, that was funny. Or it was just, I'm like, just
But you like Patton.
I do like Patton.
You were playing the Germans or something?
Yeah, I was playing Germans.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah, Patton. Yeah, he had Patton with the dog Alexander. So.
No. Yeah, I had a friend of mine actually paying him for me, so I was like, "Oh, I'll bring this." And yeah.
One of Joe's first. I think it was your first cat, right? It was a black.
Was a black cat, and I named it Patton.
Yeah, General George's Patton, right?
Yep. Yeah. There's a thing with me with that. Let's see here. Mike, make sure you watch Joe's missions video so you can use his own tactics against them the next time. Yeah. We're.
I watched your video, Joe.
Yeah. You beautiful son of a bitch. Anyway. You don't know his magnificent son of a bitch. Yeah. I read your book. Yeah. So one of the things, and by the way, if this is the first time watching this, one of the things I do is I bring on what I call SMEs, which are subject matter experts. Mm-hmm. Either they play a nationality, I bring it in, we talk about a book that came out. By the way, I never talk about a book when it first comes out. I always talk about it like a month or two later, after people have time to play it. Then we talk about what's good and what's not good. This works, this doesn't work. And that way, people can be a little bit more wiser about what they, put on the table. Right now, I'm in the middle of a series about missions. So they expanded the missions. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. So what we've been doing is I've been bringing people on and talking about if you're attacking or defending, what should you be looking for? What should you be watch out? What's the gotchas? What's the good moves? That kind of stuff. It's all because this game. This game is actually won or lost at home. When you put your list together and how you're going to run it. Because when you bring it to the table and you slap it down, you should be knowing it's like, if I run into this scenario, this is what I should be doing with my units. And yeah.
Well, this game have the ability, the tools in your toolbox to handle the different situations. So
exactly. And you should know that if you're a tank company, you should never pick defend. Yeah. And the other thing too is that we all know that Panzer Wars suck now.
My two companies are kind of sad then.
Oh, I used to run that in version 3. That's what I was Panzer Force. That was my thing.
Then again, anymore when I build a force, I go look at, okay, here's the force org chart. What does the actual company look like? And then I just start building that. It's like, well, I'll have one of everything. I'll figure it out later what I actually want to play with.
Well, anyone else have any questions out there?
Yeah, any other Adepticon related questions?
Yeah.
Lifestyle questions. I can give investing advice. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, there you go. All his Panzer IVs are Romanian colors now. That is really good because you get that Romanian discount, and actually it lines the Panzer IV where it kind of needs to be. That's probably a good idea to do with those Panzer IVs.
Yeah.
We haven't done it for a while. We haven't played. What have we learned?
Oh, what have we learned today?
Well, I don't know. What have you learned today?
The Depthicon is adding single off games.
Single off games. Okay.
Yes.
By the way, here's a question. Any modern Modern historical?
Isn't that like a
It's
an
an oxymoron. Yeah.
Right. I mean, Team Yankee's kind of modern.
Team Yankee is modern, yes.
So right now, there really isn't, looking through the events list. And I laugh because, okay, 2 days ago, I saw an article, as an opinion piece of should Canada invade the U.S.? And after I got done laughing,
should Canada invade the U.S.?
Should Canada invade the U.S.?
Oh, well, then they'd be just apologizing about it.
Right. So after I got done laughing, I was like, wait, there's a game here. So here's my idea that I've been brainstorming for the last 48 hours. Due to the worldwide shortage of buffalo wings, Canada invades over Niagara Falls to Buffalo, New York to secure the strategic buffalo wing supply.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
I found some nice 28mm Canadian models. I already have some US guys painted. I just need some armed civilians, and I have been really thinking about running this game now.
Yeah, well, you gotta leave those Canadians.
Right?
Northern New York. I don't know if they have very many. Well, I guess Remington was there, wasn't it? What was the gun manufacturer that was in northern New York that moved away? Was it Remington?
I think it was Remington.
Yeah, I think you're right, Remington. And there's someone else, too. By the way, Patrick is super excited to be going back to Adepticon again. And he's thanking you for all the work you've been putting into it.
Well, I appreciate that, Patrick, and I look forward to seeing you there. And I believe Eric mentioned earlier this is going to be his first Adepticon, and we're always happy to see returning people, first-time people, and Eric, I'm looking forward to meeting you there. And I think I bought a Marine Army off of you for Team Yankee at one point, so be looking forward to seeing you there, and I hope you have a good time.
Some feedback already. I'm in. I'll play the Buffalo Wing Invasion.
Well, I guess this is happening now.
You know what? If I was free, I'd play it too.
I think so. I'm looking at my schedule. I think I'm gonna do it. Maybe I'll do it Saturday evening. I don't know. I gotta find a time for this, and I think it's gonna be a quick game. It's gonna be kind of silly, but it's just something I want to have fun with.
You guys should play it in a restaurant where there are actual buffalo wings.
Nah, it's easier.
We can make this happen.
But no, that would be interesting, especially the crowd. Canada coming on in, have to hold the strategic wing supply.
Black Site Studios is another Adepticon vendor, and for Black Friday this year, they made a knockoff blockbuster video.
The Battle in the Honeymoon.
I picked it up, so I was like, cool, that's going to be on the centerpiece too, in addition to the Buffalo Wing Warehouse. I was going to call it Operation Canadian Bacon.
Wasn't there a movie Canadian Bacon already?
There was, with John Candy.
Yes. And what was the premise of that one?
If I remember correctly, they were going to set up a war with Canada to raise the president's approval rating, and then John Candy and his friends get all patriotic and stuff, and drive up there to capture the capital of Toronto.
Okay. Yeah, it's Canadian Bacon. Like I said, everyone would be apologizing. What's
Oh, Sherman's returning.
Oh, the cat's back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. No, he's just casing it out. I'm going to take this opportunity. So if you like what you hear, first of all, hit that the thumbs up button or the smash the like button on YouTube. Click this follow. Also, make sure you hit that the bell, so the notification bell, so that you know when we're on. We're typically on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, and we discuss everything Flames of War and Team Yankee. And we also bring in some other stuff too, trying to liven it up so that we kind of keep it fresh. And Yeah, subscribe and be part of it. Of course, this whole thing is I always try to bring in a guest. It's just not me yammering on about whatever I know. And we always, and it's, we talk about the game, the missions, how to play, how to, be a better player, trying to give you tips so you can be a better player, or that's at least our goal. And we should, hit that like button and watch us. And, and Mike, we appreciate you coming here and everything. I think it's pretty cool. I really do appreciate you coming on, and
No,
we'll try to put butts in the seats.
How do people contact him? Should we have give him is it his
Oh yeah, you want to give that
email address?
email again?
Historicals@adepticon.org.
You why don't you type it in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can get a hold of Mike, and be nice about whatever you're sending.
Yeah, be polite.
Be polite.
Like the Canadians.
Yep, there you go. So it's in the chat. Look for there. And,
No joke, I was starting to order the Canadian stuff off of this random website I found. So it's happening.
It's happening. All right, so there's that. And by the way, so Adepticon is starting, they want to be historical friendly. Remember what else? Dads, you could bring your sons.
Absolutely.
Yep. And so we
It's
got
a
that
family-friendly con.
And by the way, the vendor hall is pretty, really decent. Matter of fact, that's where I got my most of my paintbrushes. Matter of fact, it's actually the
Games and Gears.
Games and Gears. Yep, and actually it's Adepticon one, and you can see it on there. But,
Sam is the owner of Games and Gears, and he's a great guy. Very, contributes a lot to Adepticon. Also, a really fun dude to hang out with if you ever get the chance. But
okay,
he lives in Peoria, where the owner lives, and we go out there every once in a while. And I got the pleasure of watching him play a Necromunda game the last time. That was pretty fun. So,
all right. Anything else?
No, not that I could think of.
Yeah, I think we're good. Everyone, I think for watching, continue to watch. We do plan to be on next week, even though Anne will be traveling. She is. Oh, which by the way, which reminds me, the Adepticon masks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Illinois has a mask mandate right now, so we have to comply with that.
Okay. So there's the mask. Because that reminds me, because Anne will be going to New York City, which does have a mask mandate and other mandates. Anne's part of, she is now, as of last year, you're a member of
the Baker Street Irregulars.
So, which by the way, one of the founding members, Fletcher Pratt.
Yeah, just to bring it full circle, right?
That's exactly right. Fletcher Pratt and who else was a founding member?
Oh gosh, Christopher Morley and who created Nero Wolf?
The detective?
Yes. That author was one of them, and also Isaac Asimov and Neil Gaiman and Nicholas.
That's a pretty august group.
Yeah, they're a pretty impressive group. Paul Anderson, science fiction author, the writer of Star Trek II.
Okay. So you're talking about Khan. That 1 year, who was at that table that 1 year with you? That was the writer and director of Wrathicon.
Nicholas Meyer?
His name's
Nicholas Meyer.
Nicholas Meyer.
Yes. And she texted me. She goes, guess who I'm sitting next to? And I'm like, I don't know. She goes, Nicholas Meyer. And I just wrote back to her, Con. and her text back is, I'm so glad you're not here. And I'm like, they put the creatures in our ears. Yeah. So yeah, it's
Abdul Jabbar is a member.
Yeah,
He's the tallest guy in the room.
can't miss him.
Yeah.
Baker Street of Regulars is a
Sherlock Holmes Society that's been around since the 1930s.
yeah, it's probably one of the oldest fan groups.
It is.
Yeah, I go. Oh yeah, and it's invitation only to get in, and you have to contribute to something. And writes Sherlock Holmes. She's done a couple Sherlock Holmes novels, so that's
It's very cool.
that's her contribution to the genre. So, but anyway, so with that, let's close it out.
Okay.
So we do is we're going to play out to something, which by the way has something to do with the first song we played in.
Okay.
You gotcha?
Yep. Go ahead.
All right.
Why don't you ask the smartest people in the universe, Jerry? Oh yeah, you can't. They blew up.
Rick and Morty.
All right. Until next week, everybody. Have a good one.